What is my understanding of vocational evaluation and career assessment? In this module, we're going to take a look at some of the key points about vocational evaluation and career assessment, beginning with identifying the three levels of this service. Level 1 is what we refer to as screening or needs assessment. Level 2 is an exploratory assessment. And Level 3 is a comprehensive vocational evaluation. These three levels of assessment were defined very early in the Vocational Evaluation and Work Adjustment Association final project report in 1975 and have continued to be the hallmarks of definitions in our field. Level 1, again, is a needs assessment, often used to make quick decisions where minimal assessment tools and resources are required. If that doesn't provide enough information, we move on to the next part of the pyramid, which is Level 2, and provide an exploratory, diagnostic, and prognostic exploration. Again, if that does not provide the information we need, we go on to the third level, which is a comprehensive career assessment and vocational evaluation. In-depth, long-term, or ongoing, which uses work, real or simulated. Level 1, a needs assessment, is an approach that is used for some individuals and situations. Often an individual assessment tool or instrument or method can be used to answer a very specific referral question. In Level 2, under an exploratory assessment, for some the assessment needs can only be determined by gathering information or questions that arise from a Level 1. This intermediate process involves more detailed review of background information, in-depth vocational interviewing and counseling, and or additional use of psychometrics or career exploration. It may also include a transferable skills analysis, job matching, labor market investigation, or community mapping. If more information is needed or questions emerge, Level 3 should be initiated. Again, in an exploratory assessment, the process is designed to provide information on the next step in long-range planning for that individual. And it includes what's needed for investigating education in jobs and job clusters, taking into consideration the individual's interests, needs, abilities, and functional capabilities. Level 3 is what we refer to as a comprehensive career assessment or vocational evaluation. And as mentioned, this process systematically uses real or simulated work as the focal point for assessment and career exploration. One purpose is to assist individuals in career and vocational development. The profiler or vocational evaluator synthesizes that data from all team members, including, if necessary, medical, psychological, economic, cultural, social, and vocational information. The definition for a Level 3 vocational evaluation was defined by Dowd in 1993 in the VIWA Glossary of Terminology, and we've offered this glossary in your resources on the Blackboard course. We encourage you to take a look at that. But as stated, a comprehensive process that systematically uses work, either real or simulated, as the focal point for assessment and vocational exploration, the purpose of which is to assist individuals with vocational development. Vocational evaluation incorporates medical, psychological, social, vocational, educational, cultural, and economic data into the process to attain the goals of vocational evaluation. A Level 3 comprehensive process often may occur again when more information is needed. And in this process, after a person is assigned to the vocational evaluator, a development of an individualized vocational evaluation plan often is the first process to guide the entire evaluation. How long does the person participate in the process? The person participates in a program as long as necessary to accomplish specific goals. What are the outcomes of the comprehensive vocational evaluation? Recommendations for current and/or future planning for skill development, accommodations, or elimination of vocational barriers. The techniques that we use in this process may be in whole or part inclusive of this list, such as an orientation, an interview, the use of psychometrics, the assessment of vocational interest, aptitudes, learning styles. Primarily, one of the distinguishing parts of this process is the use of work samples, situational assessment, and again, the use of work real or simulated. These tools give us an invaluable opportunity to observe behavior and to give an individual hands-on career exploration. A focused assessment in this process allows us to determine the feasibility of a specific chosen career area as a career goal, and it can include real or simulated work. If we utilize a technique such as a situational assessment, we're evaluating work-related behaviors in a controlled or simulated setting. We may be using real work, again, to add face validity, and the capability to systematically vary demands in this type of evaluation helps us to look more closely at work-related behaviors. We also may utilize a technique known as community-based assessment, and which is an assessment approach of an individual's interests, needs, and abilities in a job work site setting located in the community. Community-based assessments are an umbrella term depicting a category of methods which may include situational assessments, on-the-job evaluations, job tryouts, and supported employment assessment. This visual, taken from the Vocational Evaluation and Career Assessment Professionals VCAP website, gives you an idea of the process that we work through when we're trying to look at an opportunity for an individual and look at their vocational skills and aptitudes, interests, and looking both at the individual, the environment, and then that congruence that lies between those two. So you can see here the different techniques that may be a part of those three processes. So in the individual part of the assessment, we're looking at the background information and interviews and some of the standardized tests. In the environment, we may be using observation and interviews to look at the individual's capacity in the actual environment, and then the congruence between the two and what we need to use to dig a little deeper, to ask questions, or to provide opportunities to make that a successful match. One of those examples would be utilizing assistive technology, and you'll hear more about that in the course as we move forward. Here's a visual that gives you an idea of what an individualized vocational evaluation plan might take into account. Beginning with the left side of this diagram, the first, plan is to, the overarching plan is to the individual planning. And so we identify the individual and think about the selection that connects to the referral questions, and kind of line up a plan that we think will match what direction we need to move forward in. We then have a chance to begin with an interview with that individual, which is crucial in identifying that individual's expressed interest, their actual expressed desire for being a part of the process, and any other parts of information that we cannot glean from a packet of referral information. Then we have the opportunity through the entire assessment process to observe behavior, which is so key to the entire vocational evaluation. And we observe behavior through all of the pieces and adjustments that happen during the evaluation process, from the work task to the psychometric testing, through the orientation, in the use of work samples, and any adjustments that we may provide to make those successful experiences, whether those be through the universal design that we think through early in the task, through the use of assistive technologies. It also includes the use of the job tryouts, situational assessments, and community-based experiences, all again opportunities to observe behavior. And very critical when you are taking notes and making those observations, all important in the report process that will follow through in this course. And that evaluation plan continues as the individual goes forth into their career training opportunity, into their next steps for their career or post-secondary opportunities. So the evaluation process, in its richest sense, goes forward into the follow-up, implementation, vocational planning, conferences, and report phase, and all are an iterative process that tag back and forth between one another. Vocational evaluation has been identified to encompass 4 major underlying values, and this was defined in the Ehlers text that we're using in this course again, from the IRI Institute, which defined vocational evaluation. And those 4 values are empowerment, cultural considerations and responsiveness, universal design and universal design for assessment and learning, and the application of assistive technology. And finally, individualization, where we customize assessment for customized transition, rehabilitation, and post-secondary planning. In closing, take a moment to explore the link to this video interview describing the importance of a vocational evaluation process. In addition, there are several readings in this week's module that you should look to anchor your understanding and prior knowledge in the field.